Hello and welcome to another guide through a tool that you can use for your Agile team. So here we're looking at Monday.com. This is going to be a very high overview of the processes that you can use to have a backlog and make the team or the work in the team visible. So here we're looking at the dashboard. As you can see, I have made two different teams for just purposes of this video. Um, in the dashboard, you can see that your recents of what you've viewed, the different content that is in your backlog, depending on how you have your Monday set up. Of course, this is another tool where you can make this very custom, so yours might look a little differently than this, depending on, again, how you set it up. And then you can see your collaborators. So all your team members will be listed here so that you are able to assign different projects and people can chat with each other back and forth, etc. So as you can see, like I had mentioned, I made two different teams. Team one, which will have their own backlog, and I set these up a little differently so we can kind of maybe two different ways that you can set Monday.com up for your team. Team one has more marketing driven work. Excuse me. So you can see that they have a training coming up that is stuck, a newsletter coming up that is done, and social media that is being worked on. So it's really nice that you can have these different statuses so that your team can see who is working on what and what is done, and maybe where there is an impediment. And if they are a T-shaped team, like your Agile team should be, they might be able to look at this and come into the story and see why you're stuck. Okay, so then we also have a way of breaking these stories out. So social media is our main story, and then this team you can see has broken it out into V1, where depending on your definition of done, definition of ready, and acceptance criteria, this would move through the stages where you can see statuses stuck, working on, done, not ready, and ready. So V1 would be done depending on the team's agreement, would be maybe a rough draft or a calendar of what the social media for that period should be. V2 then would come after obviously V1, and that you can see that in this team it is being worked on, and maybe that's more laying out what the post would be, and then it would move into grammar edits. So another team member would be able to look at these and say, yeah, they look good to go, or here are some edits for it. And then V3 maybe in this team is going ahead and scheduling. Which then, once all of these sub items for the social media is complete, then you would know that this story is done, or depending on, again, the definition of done, is ready for this. So that's kind of how you can set it up a little bit in this kind of look. Monday.com also has this great Kanban view that you can have your swim lanes and move things across the different swim lanes. So you can see not started, working on, done, stuck, and you can completely customize this. So you can drag this to be before not started, which typically you would have not started. You have, a ready one if a story is ready. So and you're done would be over here. So you'd be able to see kind of where stories are within their time frame, and how you can help stories or just pick up one. So that is team one and how they have it set up in Monday.com. Team number two is a little different, and we have set that up more of like a grant process. So in here, you can see that they have it where you can see the comments, the due date, the submission date. So that's pretty clear to the team also. And their statuses are more of the 1, 2. So the one whole story is moving through all in Monday.com. You can also open these and place updates, files, and kind of see the activity log of like what is being done. And your team can kind of keep each other updated. You can look at these as the Kanban also, like the last view, and see where the certain grant is if a stakeholder or another team member is looking to see what the status is of that grant. You can come in and move things around very easily. Again, these are, you can move them around pretty easily. So you can have these completely custom and make sure that they're going in the right flow. So you would want to make sure that this is set up before you really get going in your team. So it would continue to go all through. So this does become a little bit longer, but it does eliminate multiple stories under one story like team. And then you can look at your different grants too, or work, apologies, as a calendar view additionally. So you would be able to see where they are, where they should be. You can move them around on here also for due dates. And this is not the submission date. This is just the due date that the team members have put on to get them started. And then color coded, of course, is the status. And I do know in here you can really get it custom and have these a little bit wider and note the application date, if there's notes, etc. So then it's pretty clear for the team to be able to look at the calendar view also, instead of just looking at the main table or Kanban view. So that's a very high level of Monday.com and how you can use this in your work to make your work visible to your entire team.